Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Zenaton, and welcome to the next episode of my series where I go through all the cards in Legends of Runeterra that are currently out in each region, and I give those cards a rating on a 5-star rating system from 0 to 5. No half stars, so no 3.5s, 4.5s, etc., etc. It's a pretty obvious system. 0 is absolute trash for a card. 5 is pretty good and you probably should play it. Also, quick note, this is predominantly for constructed. Maybe in the future I'll do one for expedition, draft, limited, whatever you want to call it. It's called expedition in Runeterra. But that's not for this video. So, if you haven't seen it, I did one already on Demacia. Today, we're going to Freljord. Probably my second favorite region in the game so far. Currently at the moment as well. So yeah, enough rambling. Let's get into the ratings. So, in Freljord, who do we have first up? We got Alpha Wildclaw. We're starting out with a not so good card. This is, speaking of Expedition, this is a Expedition card. 6 mana, 7/6, Overwhelm. That's it. No, no cool, tribe it's in or anything. Just that. It's just a big ball of stats for 6 mana. 1 star. Good Expedition card, but it's not making the cut for Constructed. So, 1 star. You can play it as a budget thing. It's okay. It's like a sort of like Boulder Fist Ogre from Hearthstone, like an okay budget card if you don't really have anything and you need something big to close out a game. But if you have access to cards and you're trying to make a good deck and you have access to all the cards you need, don't play this deck or don't play this card in your deck. Next up, Ancient Yeti. This card is bad. Sure, you can eventually cast it for 0 mana, but it's just too slow. If you have it in your opening hand and keep it in your opening hand at the start of the very game, at the very beginning of the game, it's a turn 4 mana 5/5, which is good, but by doing a play like that, that means you're pretty much saying you're going to be down a card for the early game. Maybe in the future there will be some Yeti synergy, which makes this guy good, but for now, he's just not good enough. Overwhelm's nice, but it's just not enough. Too slow, and not going to be enough to turn around the tempo loss you're taking by playing a card like this. So 1 star. Could be 2 stars, maybe even 3 stars with some synergy stuff, but for now, 1 star. Next up, though, I believe we have our first champion for Freljord. We got Anivia. She's been nerfed recently. I think she's still fine and actually fairly okay. She was the center of a lot of combo decks. Still technically is. I haven't seen them as much recently because she's been nerfed obviously, and people are like, whenever a card gets nerfed, people are like, I'm going to stay away from that card. It's unplayable. It's been nerfed. 7 mana, 2/4. When she attacks, deal 1 to all enemies. She dies. She turns into Egg Nivea, who can revive into Anivia again. Her level up requirement is to be Enlightened, which is to have 10 mana, not including spell mana, of course. And then she becomes a 7 mana 3/5, who, when she attacks, she deals 2 to all enemies. Champ spell's really good too. Harsh Winds, Frostbite 2 enemies, Burst Spell, great combat trick. I still rate her fairly decently at 3 stars. I think she's fine, but not as good as she once was. And previously, I gave her 4 stars. She can block now, though, which is nice. And her stats are okay at blocking, but a 2/4 for 7? That's kind of meh. So yeah, 3 stars only. You're gonna have to do a lot of work to make Anivia good. Don't get me wrong, if you can actually make her work, her ability's still powerful. It's still the same ability. And if you can somehow get multiple Anivias on the board again, like you used to do a lot, still really powerful. Imagine swinging in with 2, 3 leveled up Anivias. That's a lot of damage. Next card, though. We got, I believe, we got another champion. We got Ashe. Ashe, I've tried her out in a couple of decks. I've tried her out in mid-range. I've tried her out in control. She seems to be best in control with some kind of Frostbite mid-rangey deck, tempo-based deck. Use Babbling Bjerg to pull her up out of your deck. Play her on turn 5 or 6-ish. Pretty good. 4 mana 5/3. Whenever she attacks, she frostbites the strongest enemy, so she probably won't die because she's frostbiting an enemy. If you frostbite 5+ enemies, you get a Crystal Arrow, which is a great card. It's ephemeral or whatever it's called. It won't disappear at the end of the turn, so that's pretty nice too. You can just save the crystal arrow for a better time, a most optimal time for you. When she evolves, keep frostbiting the strongest enemy. Then enemies with 0 power can't block, so you have evolved Ash, flash freeze, or just frostbite as much of the board as you can. Attacking with everything. She's fine. There's a lot of work to do, and she's not like just super busted. So she's only getting 3 stars because you have to put in some work. By herself, she's not that amazing. So she's not winning games by herself, and she's not like really that annoying by herself. So yeah, 3 stars only. Next though, I believe we have Avalanche. Yes. This card, you're playing control, you're gonna love this card. 4 mana, slow speed, deal 2 to all units. Obviously, all units includes your own stuff, so you know, play it with some like last breath stuff that will just obviously like survive the avalanche. Your opponents, if they're mid-range and aggro, will definitely be trying their best to play around this once you get up to a high enough level, so you have to not be so greedy with this kind of card. But I give it a 5 stars. Card is a necessity. You are playing any Freljord deck that's not attacking in early, even mid-range. Some mid-range decks will be playing this as a 1 or 2 of because of decks like spiders and other such things. You need this deck. Or, you need this card. You gotta stabilize against aggro. This card will do it. Next card, though. What have we got? Oh, I like this card. This guy's value. Super slow card. Avro and Hearthguard. 5 mana, 5/5. He's been nerfed. Used to be a 5 mana, 5/6. Riot was like, yeah, he's a little too big for his cost. And I was like, yeah, Riot, I kind of agree with you too. Like, even though I played this guy a lot, I was like, whenever I played him, I'm like, this guy is so value and he's so thick, and yet no one can fight him. So yeah, now he's a 5 mana, 5/5. He obviously can't fight as well as he used to, but he's still value. He's really slow, and it takes a while for his value to start coming through. You need to like draw, I'd say like 3 units, allies after you've played him and got him like +3/+3 worth of stats to have gotten back the tempo you've lost. And even then you still have to play the units. Like, again, it's really slow. Can be hit with Babbling Bjerg, which is great too. 4 stars. Good card. Really nice. He also can be used to like, he's got something cute about him with Babbling Bjerg too. He can buff things in your deck, like a 4 attack unit, and then Babbling Bjerg can pull up that unit. It's pretty nice. Like, Rekindler's been nerfed to a 4/4. Use Hearthguard, buff up Rekindler to a 5/5 like he used to be, and then you can use Babbling Bjerg to buff or to pull him out of the deck. It's pretty cute. So yeah, 4 stars still. Really good card. Avro and Marksman. Pretty cool card. Like, actually decent. Like, some people from Hearthstone might be thinking like, oh, it's Elven Archer. Difference between this and Elven Archer is, first off, 3 mana, 3/1. This thing actually can fight, unlike Elven Archer could. Also, remember in this game, unlike Hearthstone, we don't have pings like a mage hero ability or a druid hero ability or rogue hero ability at our beck and call. So the pings are much more valuable. So, because you have things like 2/1s and 1/1s that you want to kill. So pings are nice. Since damage is permanent, you might be able to use this ping to kill something really big. So I like this card. Very valuable. Very high value. Kills stuff. Very nice. 4 stars. Nothing special. Like, it's like he's not going to kill anything and get 2-for-1s and get any massive value, but he'll get his value. He'll do his job. Probably kill something small or something that's been damaged and maybe trade with like a 2-drop or something. He's great. 4 stars. Okay, well, we had to have a trash card eventually, right? I mean, we've already had a few trash cards, but we had to have a really trash card. Avaros and Outriders. The first Allegiance card for Freljord. It's bad. 4 mana, 3/3 Overwhelm, Allegiance, grant the top unit in our deck +3/+3 and Overwhelm. Really bad. Like, even if this always got the Allegiance, it would still not be a good card because you're playing a 4 mana 3/3. That's bad. Because the card that's getting the +3/+3, you still have to draw, so you're not even getting the value right away. It's coming on later. And then on top of that, it is under allegiance, so it's not even a guarantee unless you're like in mono Freljord that you're going to get the ability to go off. I give this card 0 stars. Don't play this card. It's like really, really bad. So yeah, don't do it. Maybe in the future there will be like mono region decks and you really, really want to stay in one region and maybe you'll play this card, but this card is just so bad. I don't even think a mono Freljord deck would run it. Next card though. We got Avro and Sentry. Oh boy. Mind if I roll weed, boys? 2 mana, 2/1, last breath, draw 1. Loot Hoarder seems to have moved over from Hearthstone to Runeterra. He's great. This card is great. It was great in Hearthstone. It's great in Runeterra. Love this card. It's value. 5 stars. 2/1 blocks and fights well. Since there's nothing like a mage hero ability to ping this guy and kill him, he's probably actually going to kill some stuff. You're going to love this guy. If you're a control player. I mean, even mid-range and probably even maybe an aggro deck out there would like this guy. Great, great card. I love this card. Just insane value. Like, I love value. This guy has value. Next card, though. Avro and Trapper. 3 mana, 2/2. When he's summoned, create an Enraged Yeti in the top 3 cards of your deck. And that is a 1 mana, 5/5 Yeti. That's value. That's like 4 mana for 7/7 worth of stats. That's like a lot of value. Problem is, like, it's not actually drawing a card because it's going into your deck. And it's not like helping you. I mean, I guess it theoretically helps you not die to losing all the cards in your deck. So there's that if you really care about that. But like, don't play 3 mana 2/2s that don't draw cards. Like, there's actually a 3 mana 2/2. I can't remember her name. I think it's Shadow Assassin. 3 mana 2/2 elusive, draw a card. Instead of this guy who's just a 3 mana 2/2, put a card into the deck. Even though it's a really, really efficient card, don't put it in your deck. This guy gets 1 star. Because maybe in the future Yeti decks will be a thing and you want to like shuffle in a lot of Yetis or something, but 1 star because it's not the worst. Next up. Oh, we got one of my favorite cards in the game. Guy is insane. 4 mana 3/3. Babbling Bjerg. I'm always going to pronounce the name wrong. I'm not sure if it's like Bjerg or Bjerg or Bjerg or whatever. I've been saying Babbling Bjerg. This guy's great though. You summon him, he draws a unit with 5+ power from your deck. Now the unit it draws is random, but you can do some fancy deck building by only having like 1 unit that can be hit or something like that, or do something with the Avro and Hearthguard so it can actually hit more stuff. So you don't just, it doesn't just run out of targets and you're just playing a 4 mana 3/3 because that's bad. Like 4 mana 3/3s are terrible. You want a 3 mana 3/3 that does other stuff, not, and like you're paying an extra mana to get that ability basically, and it's a good ability. Don't get me wrong though. I'm giving this guy 4 stars. Only 4 stars, not 5 stars, because it is a really slow card. It's insane value. Play this, pick up like a Rasa or something, maybe Ash, like I said, or Tryndamere if you're staying in Freljord. So yeah, great card. You're gonna love this guy. I like 4 of them. Sorry, 3. I wish I could run 4 of them. I like running 3 of them in my control decks in Freljord. Next card though, we got Battlefury. Speaking of Tryndamere, we got his champion spell. 8 mana, grant an ally, +8, +4. It's permanent, so that's nice, and it's a burst spell, but it's 8 mana. So that's bad, because 8 mana for a combat trick, basically, is not going to be good enough. 1 star. The only reason you should see this card in your deck is if you're getting it off of Tryndamere. It's, or like Karma or something, I guess. Like, I've had games where I played Karma and I got Battlefury and I used it to save Karma and stuff, but that's a rarity. Anyway, though. We got Bloodsworn Pledge. 4 mana, burst spell, grant 2 allies +0, +3. This is weird. I went back and forth on this card over and over and I couldn't really get a rating. I was like, I'm giving it 0 because it costs 4. it doesn't really give, it's not a good trick. If it costed 3, I was considering even 2 stars because I was like, this card and like maybe like a Vladimir, self-wound, self-damage deck because it gives you more health to damage or something, but that's because like it's 4 mana for 6 health, which is fine, but it's just so expensive and it can't be cast with only spell mana, so I gave it 0. Probably could be a 1 in all honesty, but if it was 3 mana, I would probably give it a 1 or maybe even a 2, but at 4 mana, I'm giving it 0 stars. Next though, we got, who do we have? We got the Happy Mustache Man. Oh, I love this guy. We got Braum, the beacon of positivity himself. Good old Braun. 3 mana, 0/5. Yeah, I know it's bad stats. Challenger, regenerate. He has to survive 10 damage to level up, and then it becomes a 3 mana 0/7 with Challenger and regenerate. And then whenever he survives damage, you get a Mighty Poro, which is a 3 mana 3/3 Poro with Overwhelm. I like this card. I really like Braum. His champion spell is really good as well. That's part of the reason I'm going to give him a decent rating. Like 3 mana. First off, again, like we were talking about previously with Bloodsworn Pledge. 3 mana is great for spells because it can be cast with only spell mana. Take Heart is great in Vladimir self-wound decks. And Braun himself, if you give him a buff, like you're playing like some Demacia Freljord deck and you give Braun a buff, the Challenger just turns, like Challenger regenerate basically turns Braun into a killing machine. He's going to clear up small stuff on the board. He's going to wall off the ground against aggro. As he's always says, like hide behind a shield and stuff. You're going to love Braum. And then the positive lines, he says, he's just like encouraging you the entire game. This is a great card. He's getting 4 stars from me. Mostly because, like, unless you buff him and give him some attack, he's kind of lackluster, in all honesty. Like, even just 1 attack will make him much, much better. So, yeah, 4 stars. Still great. I love him. He's a value engine, but only 4 stars. Sorry, Braum. I wanted to give you the 5th star, but you only get 4 stars. What we got next, though? Brittle Steel. Good card. 1 mana, burst spell. And you can frostbite an enemy with 3 or less health. It's probably like one of the better frostbite spells. A lot of the frostbite effects too in general, a lot of them are kind of bad in all honesty, but this is one of the best ones. It's 1 mana so you can play it in conjunction with other things that care about frostbite cards or cards with 0 attack. Really, really good card. Only 1 mana. It's a burst spell too, so it's always going to go off, and like I said, it's only 1 mana, so spell mana is great here. I'm giving this thing 4 stars. I love this card. Your opponent will try and block or use a Tryndamere or a Darius or something, or a Draven or whatever, or a Jinx. Doesn't matter. Some like aggressive champion, and you'll use a Brittle Steel, obviously if it can be targeted on that champion. And then you just win combat. Like, use this against Lucian, use this against Jinx, use this against Zed. Basically quick attack stuff. And your opponent will cry, as they basically just got by a 1 mana spell. Next though, we got Bull Elnuk. 4 mana, 4/5. And Elnuk. Hello, Chillwind Yeti. It's good to see you here. I actually like this card. I don't think it's constructed playable. I think I gave it a high rating though. I think I'm rating it 3 stars. Because the reason is, there is technically a deck maybe with like 3 Bull Elnuks and 3 troops of Elnuks, because that's some like super value there. But the problem is, you really want to have more of this to really get value, and then that means you have to play bad cards like counterfeit copies and Parade Electro Rig, which you should not be playing 2 bad cards to get a good effect, but this card's just fine. Also, if you're playing the game and you're in need of budget cards, or you just need a replacement for something at the 4 mana slot, this card's a great budget slot card. You just throw it into some random Freljord deck as a 4 mana 4/5. Fights well, it'll kill things, it'll do some stuff. So yeah, 3 stars. Pretty nice. Next up, oh man, this card, when it was 4 mana, I think I overrated it, Now that it's 5 mana, I'm really low on Catalyst of Aeons. 5 mana, burst spell. Get an empty mana gem and heal your Nexus for 3. Your face, basically, if you don't realize what your Nexus is. It's weird. Like, I like this. Like, you got another card called Warding Stones, which is just better, but some decks run both this and Warding Stones. So, like, you're only playing this if you really want to, like, ramp up to, like, 10 really quickly. Like, you're an Enlightened deck. Like, maybe you're trying to get to 10 for a Nivea or Karma or something. But I'm only going to give it 2 stars. If it weren't for the health, too, the health gain, which, like, helps offset the tempo loss you're taking, this card would be bad. But that health gain and it being, like, uncounterable, of course, with Burst, makes it fine and playable. It'll fill up a slot. Next, though, we got Elixir of Iron. 1 mana burst spell, give an ally +0/+2 this round. It's not permanent. You might start to notice a trend. 1 mana spells are kind of decent because they're easy to play. Elixir of Iron, though, gives it 3 stars. I even considered putting this card at 4 stars. This card is great. It's like a nice cheap trick. You use it, you keep, like, key cards alive, like value engines, things you just want to protect, like champions as well. Maybe keep Braum alive somehow. Maybe, I don't know, like Ash alive. Maybe you're playing Fiora, something like that. Great card. Very innocuous in its power, but 3 stars. You'll love it. Oh, I like this card. This card I think is really bad, but I love this card because I love this type of effect. Entreat. 2 mana burst spell, draw a champion. It's very simple. The issue is it's slow. You might play in like a combo deck with like a Nivea to make sure you draw a Nivea and try to combo off with a Nivea to get a lot of Niveas. But even then it's just so slow. But I'm mostly giving it the 2 stars because of the potential for future combos and just build around champion decks, like mono champion decks or stuff like that. So 2 stars. It's like a 2 mana draw 1 card. You hear that, you would be like, that's kind of bad. But I don't know, like I said, it draws a specific type of card and it's burst speed. So it's not terrible. All right, well, we're finally back to expedition cards. Feral Mystic. Enlightened, 2 mana 2/2, overwhelm. When you're enlightened, it's getting +4/+4 to become a 2 mana 6/6. I mean, that sounds tempting, but the problem is, if your 2 mana 2/2 is somehow surviving until turn 10 or until you have 10 mana, you're probably already winning the game, or that means you top deck this thing while you were at like 8 or 9 mana or so. This card is getting a 1 star from me because there's nothing really here. Like, it's not good defensively, it's not good offensively, and it's payoff for Enlightened decks, and Enlightened decks don't really need more payoff. They really just need more ways to survive actually getting to the 10 and getting Enlightened. So yeah, 1 star. Not that good. Flash Freeze? I like Flash Freeze. So, I mean, it's an obvious card. 3 mana, Flash Freeze, Burst Spell, Frostbite an enemy. There's nothing special about it. You're only playing this in a Frostbite deck, like something with Ash. It's getting 2 stars from me because of lack of versatility. Card's fine. It's like okay as a combat trick, but you probably shouldn't be playing this unless you're playing in a Frostbite focused deck, like something with Ash, like I said. Next, though, we got Harsh Winds. Now this, compared to Flash Freeze, this is actually good. You can get some insane value off this. 6 mana, burst spell, Frostbite 2 enemies. It's pretty good. Like, compared to Flash Freeze, you can get like some insane, like there's potential for a lot of value from this 1 card. That's why I like this compared to Flash Freeze. I'm giving this 4 stars compared to Flash Freeze. Even like a deck that's not really fighting for the board too much, like a very hard control deck, will like this card too. So again, 4 stars. Your opponent tries to like make copies of something, you play this so they're making copies of Frostbitten enemies. Really nice. Oh no, we got a Poro. We got the Heart of the Fluffed. 6 mana. 4/4. When you play it, combine all of the Poros that you have on the field into a Fluff of Poros, which as we can see is on the left. And it gets all their stats and their keywords. And the Fluff of Poros says that when the Fluff of Poros dies, you get to summon the heart again. So this is like fine. Like if you play this, you get like you like play a 6 mana 4/4 that turns into a 4/4 at the very least, that when it dies you get back a 4/4. Like that's value, but the problem is there's a lot better stuff you can do with 6 mana. And if you're playing a lot of Poros, that means you're playing a lot of bad cards. Again, don't play a lot of bad cards to get some good effect. This effect's not even that good. Don't get me wrong, these Poros are cute, especially the Fluff the Poros, really cute. Sadly, I'm only giving this 2 stars. This is one of the better like Poro payoffs, I think, but again, Poros just aren't getting there right now. Don't play Poros. Next up though, Iceborne Legacy. Iceborne Legacy, just bad. 3 mana burst spell, grant an ally and all allied copies of it everywhere, +1/+1. I mean, you can cast it with spell mana only, but that's like the only positive things, like that and its burst speed. I'm giving it 1 star. It's just way too slow. And 3 mana is a little too expensive for this ability. I would pay like maybe 1 mana, 2 mana at most, obvious, probably. But 3 mana, a little too much for my blood. Gonna say no to it. Goodbye, Iceborne Legacy. Now we got a good card though. Ice Vale Archer. 2 mana 3/1. You play him, frostbite an enemy. Frostbite decks love it. Great stall card for control decks. Good card. Very good, solid card. He's got decent stats, so he can fight well too and actually trade. He's getting 3 stars though because he's kind of tough to use, and it's kind of like sometimes you'll just be sitting with an Ice Vale Archer in your hand, not doing anything as a control player, and you're trying to use him reactively and it won't do anything. So there are a lot of situations where he just won't do anything, just sit in your hand. Next though, we got Icy Yeti. This card is bad. Don't play this card even in a Frostbite deck. It's a Yeti, but the Yeti synergy is not really a thing. I mean, there is some Yeti synergy, but it's not good. The Icy Yeti, though, he's a 7 mana 5/5. When you summon him, he frostbites enemies with 3 or less health. That's bad. Like, look at this card for 7 mana, and then look at a card like Rasa. And you'll understand why you shouldn't play this card, because this card is bad. Even in Expedition, I'm not a fan of this card. I'm giving this card 0 stars. So, yeah. Sorry, Icy Yeti. Please don't beat me up. But, hey, we got the Kindly Tavern Keeper. 3 mana 2/3. You play this guy, heal anything for 3. Heal units, heal champs, heal your face. It's our good friend Earthen Ring Farseer from Hearthstone. Cool guy. He's only getting 2 stars. Again, remember, this is constructed. We're only giving him 2 stars because this guy in constructed, there's just better things you can do. If you want heals, there's better heals out there. And if you want, like, ways to help out your units, there's just better stuff out there. He's kind of small for a 3-cost card. The ability's not that game-changing. He's getting 2, though, because, like, it's kind of like an all-in-one kind of thing. Also, like, an issue you'll run into is you don't actually have anything to heal. Like, none of your units are damaged, your health's at 20, and since you can't overheal, you actually have nothing to heal. So it's like, do you just play a 3 mana 2/3, do nothing? Or do you just hold this guy to try and get some value? So that's kind of bad. So yeah, 2 stars only. Great artwork though. He's a happy boy. Gotta love him. Oh no, he's so sad. He's so sad. I feel bad for this guy. And I feel bad for the rating I'm going to give him. Lonely Poro. 1 mana 1/1. Don't play 1 mana 1/1s. When you summon the Lonely Poro, you get a random 1-cost Poro from any faction. And the 1-cost Poros are pretty bad. I'm sorry, little guy. You get 1 star because you're doing better than a lot of the other 1 mana 1/1 Poros. A lot of them are 0 stars. You're getting a 1 star because you draw a card. Pseudo draw a card, I guess. And maybe in the future, if there's really a non-aggro Poro deck out there, maybe this guy will make it. But it's still a bad card, so don't play Poros. Oh, speaking of Poros, we got more of them. We got the Mighty Poro. Yeah, this card's bad too. 3 mana, 3/3, Overwhelm. That's it. The only reason you should have this card on your field is you got it from Braum. This guy is 1 star. 1 star because its stats are fine. That's the only thing good about it is like 3 mana, 3/3 with Overwhelm is fine stats for 3 mana cards, but you shouldn't be playing this. So, yeah. 3 star. Or, sorry, this guy wishes he was 3 stars. 1 star. Next, though, we got a good card. We got Omen Hawke. Now, this is value. 1 mana, 1/1. When you summon the Hawk, grant the top 2 allies in your deck +1/+1. So it's like 3/3 of stats for 1 mana. This card comes down. It gives you a body on the board to block against aggro. You can use it to sacrifice as a sacrifice fodder if you're playing some Shadow Isle stuff. You can be a chump blocker if your opponent has any fatties you need to stop and slow down. Great card. It's good in the early game, good in the late game. You'll love it. You get this card in the opener, you're gonna keep it in the opener. You're almost never, I mean, like, you're never gonna mulligan this card, really. You see it in your opener, you're gonna keep it. It's like, you play, like, let's say you had, like, 3 of them. You're probably gonna go, like, turn 1, Hawk, turn 2, Hawk, turn 3, Hawk. That's just how much value that is. It helps put things out of ping range, puts things out of avalanche range. Great card. Amazing card. Play all the copies of this card you can. Play all 3 copies. 5 stars for the Omen Hawke. Next, though, we got Pack Mentality. From a great card to an actual trash card. Pack Mentality. 7 mana. Slow speed. That's one of the reasons why it's really bad. It's the slow speed. Give an ally and all other allies of its group, the tribe, if you will, if you're from Magic, basically like Yetis, Poros, etc., give an ally and all other allies of its group +3/+3, and overwhelm this round. It's not even a permanent buff. If it was a fast spell, I could see myself rating it a little bit higher. You could use it as like a really bad, expensive combat trick, but slow speed's killing any potential of this card. I'm giving it 1 star because it's some like payoff for group tribe decks like Poros and Yetis and other such things that don't really have it, but even then it's bad, so don't play it. Now we got the Poro Herder. This guy is value. The only issue is the value is not good value. 4 mana, 3/4. You summon the Poro Herder, and he draws 2 Poros if you have a Poro on the field, of course. I mean, a 4 mana, like, let's look at it like this. 4 mana, 3/4, draw 2 cards. That sounds busted, because it would be busted. The only issue is you're just drawing Poros. This is like payoff for the Poros, and it's a good card. The only issue is it's Poros, which is why it's getting 3 stars. If it was something else it was drawing besides Poros, it's going to get maybe even 5 stars. But again, that's probably the reason why his stats are fairly okay for a 4-drop, and it's drawing 2 cards instead of 1 card, is because it's drawing Poros. So, Poro Herder, 3 stars. You've been working out, though, Poro Herder. Keep it up. Well, we're still here on the Poro stuff. Poro Snacks. 4 mana, burst speed. Grant Poro allies everywhere +1/+1. You can use it as a combat trick, but yeah, this card is too expensive. And again, it's a Poro card, and those are bad. 0 stars. Don't play Poros because they're bad. Sorry, Poros, you're really cute, but your cards are really bad at the moment. Next, though, we got Rime-Fanged Wolf. I like this card. It's like it's really good. Like, this is one of the reasons you are in a Frostbite deck. 3 mana, 3/2, Challenger, strike a unit with 0 power, kill it. Combine this with some of the burst speed waste to give Frostbite, and this guy, that turns all those Frostbite things into kill spells. Great card. You know what he's going to get? He's going to get a pretty good rating. He's getting 4 stars. Only 4 stars instead of 5 stars because you got to do a little bit of work to make him great, but even without using any frostbite stuff, he's still a 3-mana 3/2 with Challenger. Like, that's still really good. So yeah, 4 stars. Great card. Great artwork too. I like the glowy fangs and eyes too. Next card though, we got Tusk Shaman. Speaking of frostbite decks, hello. 5 mana 3/3. Start of the round of each round. Frostbite the strongest enemy. Good lockdown, but not really for a control deck in terms of lockdown, but pretty much just a frostbite card. Helps slow down opponents' decks, so you can try and like get more and more value out of frostbite. Combos well with things like the wolf itself, as we just saw. But I'm only going to give this card 3 stars because it really is only for frostbite decks, and that's it. You don't want to play this card in control because it's your opponent probably, if you're playing control, your opponent probably has a lot of removal spells. So just throw a removal spell at this card and kill it, and you're going to be sad because you played a 5-mana 3/3 that did nothing pretty much. Next up though, we got Scar Maiden Reaver. 5 mana, 4/5, overwhelm, regenerate. It's pretty obvious this is an expedition card. You can put some buffs on it because of regenerate, and that's cute, but only 1 star. Like, the 5 mana slot is flooded out in different regions, and a 5 mana 4/5, even with regenerate and overwhelm's just not good enough. No relevant tribe or anything, just not enough going on here. Now I got Scarmother Vrina. I hope I'm pronouncing her correctly. Also, apparently I have this in the wrong order, so we can see the stars already. Scarmother Vrina is 6 mana 3/3. Sorry, 3/8. If she was a 3/3, she'd be so trash. She is fine. Like, the thing about Scarmother Vrina is she's like, she goes into a Noxus deck with Vlad and other things that self-ping and self-damage. Great finisher. The Overwhelm, she'll get really big. Overwhelm damage will just break through your opponent's walls and defensive units, just busting through their line, dealing all kinds of damage. 3 stars though, because outside of that, nothing else like really wants Scarmother Vrina. So sorry, Scarmother, but still 3 stars is good. Next up though, we got the Scarthane Stefan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Steven? 3 mana 2/4. Survive damage. Grant him +3/+0. We're gonna get a few of these cards that are these whole survive damage do X. This guy's fine. Like, 3 mana 2/4 is a fine body at playing defense. He goes into Vladimir decks, so it's not terrible. I'm giving him 3 stars as well, like Scarmother Vrina, because there's a home for him, and he's okay in it, but he's not doing anything too special. So 3 stars. Now this is a bad card. Don't play this card. Shatter, 2 mana slow speed. That's what's killing the card, is a slow speed. 2 mana slow speed, deal 4 damage to an enemy unit if it has 0 power. Otherwise, frostbite it. If this card was fast, or even better, burst, this card would be actually good and playable. But the problem is slow speed is bad, because like, even if the unit has 0 power, your opponent could just respond to it by a random buff to keep it alive. And it's not even going to kill units too. Like, that's the other thing. It's doing 4 damage for 2 mana, which is good. Don't get me wrong. 2 mana deal 4 is good, but you're doing a lot of work to maybe not even deal that 4 damage. So I'm going to give this card 1 star because it's a powerful card if it goes off, but it's hard to get it to go off, and it's very rarely going to go off. So only 1 star, not 0 stars, because it actually has some use and it's got some power behind it, but it's not that good. Oh man, now She Who Wanders. This card, I loved this card. And then they nerfed it. 10 mana, 10/10. Your player, obliterate all followers with 4 or less power in play and in hands. I believe she's the only card with obliterate, which is basically like exile from Magic, in that the cards are just gone from the game. Things with last breath like Commander Ladros, they're just gone. It's great. She only hits followers though. She used to hit champs, and then they nerfed her, so she doesn't hit champs. She also used to have regeneration. She now doesn't have regeneration. That's why I think she's not as good anymore, and a lot of people don't think she's that good anymore. The community is kind of low on her right now. I'm giving her 3 stars. Honestly, I think I might even be overrating her, and I might be tempted to even give her 2 stars maybe. But I think she's still fine in like a ramp-oriented deck. You play something like Warding Stones, maybe Catalyst, play like a turn 7 or 8 She Who Wanders, try and use her to catch up and clear the board. Again, the big issue is losing Regenerate is bad, but that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is not being able to clean up champions. Like, your opponent has like, I don't know, Zed, Jinx, Lucian out there, and She Who Wanders comes down and is just like, yep, sorry, I can't hit those guys. So yeah, only 3 stars. Sorry, She Who Wanders. Love you though. Oh, we got Stalking Wolf. Last wolf we had, the Rhymefang Wolf, was a 3/2 as well, I believe, for 3 mana. This one's a 2 mana 3/2 Challenger Wolf. Now it has a downside, 2 mana 3/2 Challenger. Summon it. You are giving your enemy a Snow Hare, which is just a 1 mana 1/1. So it's like, that's not really a downside, because if you really care about the hare, like you don't want to give them anything to buff or something, you can use the Challenger to kill it, but you probably don't want to do that. You probably just want to attack in. Your opponent could use the hare to chump and then ping with something like the Archer. But this card's still great, though. So, you know, pretty good. Maybe go into Demacia, play Fiora, have Fiora kill the Snow Hares and stuff that are generated off Stalking Wolf. Kind of cute. I'm giving this card 4 stars. Great card. Really, really nice. Next card, though, we got Starlit Seer. I tried for the Starlit Seer. 2 mana 2/2. When you cast a spell, grant the top ally in your deck +1/+1. I tried so hard to make this guy work. I couldn't do it. I gave up. I'm giving this card 1 star. It's a powerful ability, and its value on a stick. Great engine for just more stats and more value. It's just too hard to make work. You just can't do it. Just way too much. Like, a lot of cheap spells and some decent draw in theory. Like, that was the theory behind the decks I was trying this in, was like, if I just play a lot of cheap draw and cheap spells, I'll give all my units like a lot of stats. The problem was I wasn't drawing units. I just kept drawing cheap spells, and I was just losing because I wasn't playing to the board. So sorry, you're only getting a 1 star. Perhaps in the future with better spells, maybe you'll get up to 3 stars, but for now you're just 1 star. Next though, take heart. We got Brahm's spell here. Great card. Speaking of Brahm, this card's great with him. Also great with other stuff, like, I don't know, Fiora as well. You have Brahm get damaged, use a take heart on Brahm. Brahm heals up, and then Brahm's like a 3/8, I believe? A 3/8 with Challenger? That's insane. You are going to win a game with just a Brahm. They're going to have to use an actual removal spell to kill Brahm then. This card is getting 4 stars. Even without being generated off of Brahm, this card is great. Try it out. Oh, we got Tall Tales. This is some of the Yeti payoff that's in the game. It's not good Yeti payoff. 3 mana slow spell. If you have a Yeti, summon an Enraged Yeti, which is a 1 mana 5/5. Otherwise, create one on top of your deck. Obviously, you want to be playing this if you have a Yeti on the field, as it's a 3 mana 5/5 then. I mean, there's not much here. The only issue is, like, there's not enough Yetis. So, 1 star. Like, there's not enough Yetis you want to play into a deck that would actually make it so you're actually playing a 3 mana 5/5. Most of the time, you're going to play this card and you're going to put a 1 mana 5/5 Yeti on top. It's fine in Expedition, I guess. Who have we got next? We got Tarkaz the Tribeless. 5 mana 5/8. Attack. Deal 1 to all battling units, including your own. Put him in a Vladimir deck. Self-wound decks. He's getting 4 stars. It's pretty nice. Again, 5-drop slot is really crowded, but he's one of the better things. Really big stats for a 5-drop, in all honesty. 5 mana 5/8. He does hit himself, though. I will say that. It says all battling units, including himself if he battles. So he will ping himself, but again, you like that if you're playing a Vladimir self-wound, self-damage deck. So yeah, try him out. Really cool. Try and brew up a Vlad deck. Vlad decks are very fun. Highly recommend them. We got They Who Endure next. 6 mana, 1/1 Overwhelm. Sounds terrible. Read the text though. When I'm summoned, They Who Endure is summoned, grant her +1/+1 for each ally that died. So she's going to be a very big, thick lady beast thing, whatever these things are. Put her in like an ephemeral deck with something like, I don't know, Shark Chariots and Haunted Relic or something. So you're spamming a lot of stuff that comes down and dies, and you can get a big Overwhelm unit as like a pseudo finisher. Again, though, like that's not the greatest strat, so I'm only gonna give her 3 stars. That's fine, but just stay with Hecarim and Shark Chariots if you want to do something like that, in all honesty. Next, though, we got more Elnux energy. 5 mana, 3/3, Troop of Elnux. When you play it, summon each Elnux in the top 10 of your deck. That's value. The only problem is you gotta play Elnux. They're kind of bad cards, but I mean, summoning these kind of cards for free is still good. The only problem is it's not that good. I mean, it's a common, so it's like if you have a lot of these, you can make a budget deck with this, but again, don't run those copy cards that shuffle copies of a card back in your deck like Parade Electro Rig, because those cards are bad, and you don't want to dilute your deck and your actual good cards in your deck, or your actual draws to draw your good cards in your deck. So this card's getting 3 stars, though. It's still fine. Not amazing, not bad. Just fine. Now we got Tryndamere. Oh boy, Tryndamere is scary. Good top end for like mid-range decks. 8 mana, 8/4, Overwhelm. Level up. Just die. If he won't die, he just levels up instead and turns into an 8 mana 9/9 with Overwhelm and Fearsome. Very scary. He used to have Tough, and they removed it from him, but he's still a great finisher. His battle ability, champion spell, Battlefury, +8/+4, first spell for 8 mana. It's still bad, but you're not playing Tryndamere for his champion skill, you're playing him for himself. So Tryndamere, I'm gonna give him 3 stars, in all honesty. He's like, I feel like for newer players, you're going to get upset by Tryndamere because you won't exactly know how to deal with him very well, but there's nothing special about him. He's just like a big fatty who comes down and bashes your opponent's face in, or your face in if it's your opponent playing him. But the tools to deal with him are in the game, and eventually you learn how to deal with him efficiently. So yeah, 3 stars. At first, I gave him 4 stars, and then I heard about the nerfs, so he doesn't have Tough, and I was like, I was already hesitant on the 4 stars, and without Tough, I gave him 3 stars. Next up, though, we got Unscarred River. We're back to these cards that are getting buffs for taking damage. I don't think this card's good, in all honesty. A lot of people are very high on this card. 1 mana, 0/3, survive damage, get it +3/+0. They're like, oh, you put it in like a self-damage deck with Vladimir and other such self-damage things. I'm like, just It's just like, it's a little too like unreliable. Health is a little low, so she, like, if you damage her even once without a buff or any way to protect her, she'll just die to Avalanche, dies to like Grasp. Just meh. She's very cute though. Like if your opponent doesn't interact with her, and you do even have some buffs, she can become like just ping her twice and she's a 6/1. That's pretty good. And then throw on a buff or 2, she can get wild and out of control really fast. So I'm gonna give her 2 stars. She's fine and serviceable in the self-wound deck, but not amazing. Next though, it's bad. Is really bad. 12 mana, War Mother's Call, slow speed spell. Summon the top unit from our deck now and each start of round. That's value. But good God, is this card slow? And it is so slow. It's getting 2 stars because it is just pure condensed control. And if you love control and big dirtly stuff and ramp, this is the card for you. The issue is, there's a card called Deny in Ionia. You're going to try and play War 1 that's called your opponent's playing Ionia, you're going to get denied. Even outside of Ionia, it's still too slow. Maybe with Warding Stones and Catalyst, you can ramp up to it and play it on like turn 9 or something. The only issue is like, you might get unlucky and you might get like a bad card. You might hit Omen Hawke or something off the top of your deck or something. Like you want to play this and you want to hit something like Tryndamere off the top of your deck instead. So yeah, 2 stars. I like the card. It's a personal favorite of mine, but it's just too slow. So yeah, 2 stars. Next though, Winter's Breath. It's fine. Like, go into Ionia, play Karma, get Karma Enlightened so you cast your spells twice. 7 mana, slow speed spell. Kill all enemies with 0 power, then frostbite them. So you cast it twice with Karma. So it's a board wipe technically, but it's just not enough. Too expensive, slow speed kills it as well. Too much work though to make this a good card. It's getting 3 stars though because it is powerful. And 7 mana for a spell is not the most mana because of spell mana, but still, it's like, yeah, don't play it. Probably don't play it unless you're like trying to meme up with Karma. Next though, we got the Warding Stones. It's still good. It's been nerfed. It's 3 mana 0/3 now. Used to be a 3 mana 0/4. I'll be honest with you, I am fine with the nerf. I played a lot of this Warding Stones. It felt really powerful. At 0/4, it just blocked really well against 1 and 2 drops. And so it would ramp you and heal you, like pseudo heal you for like 2 or 3 health. Now though, you have a harder time blocking because it might just die if you block. So I'm still gonna give it 3 stars though. Like, it's still really, really good ramp. So yeah, 3 stars. Get an extra mana gem at this round. Still really good. Really, really good. Next up, we got Yeti Yearling. Probably one of the better Yetis in the game. 1 mana, 1/2, Last Breath, shuffle 2 Enraged Yetis in our deck. The Enraged Yetis, if you remember, were 1 mana 5/5s. Use something like Babbling Bjerg to draw them out. Even then, this card's not that great. It's only getting a 1 star. I could be convinced to put it at 2 stars maybe if some Yeti synergy comes along, but I'm just giving it 1 star. It's just okay. The only reason you'll play this is if you're memeing with some kind of Yeti build. And I believe that's the last card though for this section of the series of Freljord. Yes, that is the last card for Freljord. In the next episode, we're going to go over to Ionia and talk about Ionia. Initially, I was going to make this video series all in one video, and I realized that's going to be a long, like 6-hour video, so I split them up by region. I hope you all enjoyed the video, though. If you did, you could leave me a like or a comment down below saying what you enjoyed and any kind of video suggestion ideas you would like to see from me. If you'd like to watch me actually play Runeterra, I stream over on Twitch TV at twitch.tv/Zenaton pretty much every day. And that's pretty much it. So, thank you. If you'd like to keep up with the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. The next video in the series should be up tomorrow by the time I upload this. It'll be, again, like I said, Ionia. And again, I hope you all enjoyed the video. So have a good rest of your day, everyone. And I hope to see you soon in the next video of mine. So, bye, everyone.